Hello, welcome. Hi, Leona. So glad you joined. Hello. So glad you're here, Fire of Truth. I love that name now that I'm following yours. Ashton and Britt from Blessed Botanicals are here. What a great night we had on Tuesday. That was one of the best nights. Leona, were you with us on Tuesday night? We had an amazing night with Brittany and Ashton from Blessed Botanicals. This is all their products, their herbals. Wow, what fun we had. Hi, Valid. Glad you're back. That's twice this week. Did you have fun on Tuesday night? And did you learn a ton? Because I sure did. Anytime, Brittany. I want to continue this. We got to keep going on live because you guys have so much knowledge to teach all of the followers. Michelle and Papa are here again, twice this week. You guys. We truly have formed a community. It's really wonderful. It means so much. Yeah, we need to keep growing, Leona, getting the word out, healing so many. But it's happening. I've noticed something really special that you guys have been doing, that you're finding people who are struggling online and you're tagging, get a hold of Jessie L. And that's wonderful. And some of them are. So it is spreading. So I want to talk to some of you first because I have time. We will be having Tara Coyote join us at 7 from, she's going to be on live with us from Hawaii. And she has a stage 4 cancer thriving story to share, her testimony with us tonight. And it worked out really good because I really wanted to kind of continue off of Tuesday with a topic that we discussed about frequency. And then I kind of want to give you guys some updates on what's been happening on my TikTok the last 24 hours. Hi, John. Thank you for joining. So I got my 3rd strike and I figured out how hopefully not to get more strikes. So I got my 3rd strike and it came with a warning, and it was the story I had shared about Dr. Buttar. Interestingly, is just this morning I woke up and I had this feeling like I should take that story down because I knew I would get my 3rd strike from sharing that. But this also helped me understand how I can set my boundaries so that I can stay live for you guys and stay on TikTok for you guys. So I'm going to stay away from the conspiracy theories because that is one of them. And I'm going to stay away from this. But I can talk about it doing this because I'm going to go into it a little bit tonight because it's important. Yeah, loved Dr. Buttar. Yeah, he was taken out, for those of you who don't know, and he was spreading truth, and we're going to talk a little bit about it because when he was taken out, I decided to go back and look at everything he was sharing, right? Everything that he was teaching. And some of the things that he was teaching was something that was a really important topic that I had been wanting to share with you guys. And it was, how to stay protected from some of the weapons that are used against humanity. And even if you got this, because a lot of you did. So anyway, let me start tonight by asking you if you got COVID, because this is important. So if you did, and did you get it more than one time? Because several people I know got it 2 or 3 times. And do you get sick with a cold, a flu, 1 or more times a year? If you do, yeah, Heidi doesn't. then that means that your frequency is high and you're protected from the weapons that are used against humanity. Sorry, that's my puppies. And so I want to teach you guys tonight, before our guest comes on, because Tara is coming on at 7, so we have a whole hour. I want to teach you guys about how we raise our frequency and how it's biblically connected, because that was important to me, and I know that's important to you. So I spent all week putting together the information that I want to share with you guys. Yeah, my dogs like it too. Actually, what my dogs like is my windows cracked and they're watching for squirrels, because that's what they do all day long, is look out my front window where my big maple tree is and they watch the squirrels. So anyway, you rarely get sick, Renee. Never got a test. Me neither. So you have high frequency. And Renee, I bet when you left, well, you lived in the country even when you were in California, but she left California for, remind me, for the East Coast. She's in the country. She has gardens now and she's foraging and she's just raising farm animals. So she's high frequency living. Anyway, so let's start this. So I'm going to also try something new tonight. I'm going to try flipping the camera because I want you guys to watch a video. So just hang in there because I'm going to have you watch, it's a 3-minute video, and then I'm going to read the study that I did with you guys. So we're going to learn how to raise our frequencies so that I don't get sick, you guys. I never got COVID. I took care of everybody. I don't get sick. I haven't been sick since I raised my frequency, unknowingly that that's what I was doing. But once I had my awakening 16 years ago, I started purging all the toxins, heavy metals, parasites out of my body and changing the way I was eating and consuming. So, everything, right? Consuming in my mind and in my mouth, and purging of unhealthy relationships. So we're going to go into all that, but give me a minute. I'm going to try to flip my screen for the first time. Let's see if this works. Okay, let's see. So I push guest, and I did it. Okay, it's easy, you guys. So if anybody needs to learn this. Okay, so here you go. Okay, let me flip you back around.
The notion of water memory was first raised in the 1980s.
I'm back. Was that amazing? So I finally learned how to flip screen. That's going to really help out in our lives. So Leona says her water comes from 100 feet down below earth. That's great. You could just imagine how amazing your water is. The power of words, you guys. Wow. Yeah. Did you see that? Did you see the difference? And music had the effect on water as well. Heavy metal versus symphony. I would love to see like worship music, because we know about prayer and what happens to water. Well, our body is made out of water, right? All right, I want to start reading this study with you guys, and then we'll have a discussion after I read. And what we don't know about frequency can actually harm us. And that is one of the reasons why I think it's really important that we go down this road. And for an example is, you could be getting sick unnecessarily because all you had to do was raise your frequency, and then you're not going to get disease, okay? And we know parasite cleansing is one of them, but you still have to raise your frequency. Okay, all matter produces energy. Words are energy. We just saw that. Electricity is energy. Speed is energy. All of these forms of energy cause a reaction or a result. Look at the very first demonstration of words being energy in God's word. Let there be light, and there was light. Genesis 1:3. God spoke the earth into existence with words. But we're not God. We are, however, created in his image. Be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life. Proverbs 4:23. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Thoughts as well as physical words cause physical energy that directs our lives and the lives of those around us. So we just looked at Dr. Marsuo Emoto at those images, right? That were proof of how music, sound, words affected water. You can see how the words used physically created changes. The average human body is 60% water. Think about that, you guys, for a minute. Okay, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21, what we talked about on Tuesday. Amazing. The thoughts and beliefs that you carry produce energy around you. Have you ever noticed that your emotions affect the emotions of others around you? You go meet up with a friend who's in a bad mood, and how does it make you feel? How does it make us feel? You liked, Leona, you liked it so much you bounced off the page. Yeah. If you love people and care about them, they will feel drawn to you, right? When we're positive and we draw people in. Are you one of those? We need to strive to be that, you guys, to protect ourselves. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When mama's happy, everyone's happy, right? Shelly? Yeah. And I know someone when mama's not good, everybody's not good. Let's not be that, you guys. You know, my message has always been, we need to lift humanity up, and it begins with me. The second that I start going down, I'm going to pull whoever is attached to me down too, right? So we have to lift each other up and help our children validate. Yes, we got to get their frequencies up. We need to work on that. Okay, let me keep going. Okay, so people who are pleasant and full of love emit an energy that attracts people. Yeah, we are talking about more than just physical energy stimulated by emotions. Another example from God's word. So the Lord said, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you would say to this tree, be pulled up by the roots and be planted in the sea, and it would obey you. Luke 17:6. When Jesus spoke to the fig tree that dried up and the wind and waves, he was demonstrating the undeniable biblical principle that things obey words. Jesus demonstrated to his disciples that the many ways to use words to create results. Let us clear up that we are not talking about name it, claim it. We are simply seeing how our thoughts and words are energy. Sometimes it is not manifested as instant, visible results. We see this when someone is changing their life from years of negative thinking to positive thinking, because that can take time. If you take many months for a renewed mind to produce physical changes, this is important because it affects everything we do. It affects the outcome of our businesses. It affects the way our children grow up, and it affects the outcome of our relationships and marriages. Are we proclaiming curses over our children or our spouse when we constantly tell them about their flaws? I felt some conviction when I read that. We all do it. Things are responding to our words every day. So speak good things. Yeah, Brittany, it's really good. And I really want to put together a Bible study that I do with a group at our house, because this is connected to our health and directly connected to our health. And it was amazing because when I had put up Dr. Batar's video, I went alone and I was just walking, thinking about it, thinking about why he was taken out and what his message was, and it just all started connecting what's happening. And so we have to connect it all so that we can rise above this, so that we can survive this, what's coming. Because what Dr. Batar was warning you guys was that all of our lives, when we've had this done, there have been things that have placed in our body that lie dormant. And those things, which are parasites, pathogens, they wake up when a frequency is sent out. And it's not a frequency that we may hear. It's a frequency that's sent out. And, we have the technology like the 3G, 4G, 5G that changes, right? These frequencies that are upgraded. And some people aren't going to survive that. And it doesn't matter if you didn't get this, because remember, parasites are the smallest, viruses are the smallest parasite. The virus wakes up, and then we spread it to others by sneezing. And then if your frequency is not high enough, you're going to catch that. And so it's so important that we raise our frequencies, and then we know how to do that. I'm getting there because I'm going to give you a whole list of ways to do that. But I first just wanted to make sure you guys understood the connection, that it is biblically connected. It's truth. And I needed that confidence myself because my testimony. I was in a conservative church for many, many years, and that would have been, to talk about this would have been considered New Age. So just like some of the things I practice to stay healthy, like grounding. Did you see your video of the doctor talking about this got taken down? Yeah. It got taken down. I got my third warning, my third strike today. And it's interesting because I woke up this morning and something inside of me told me to take it down, that it would be my third strike. And sure enough, right before I got on with you guys, I forgot to go and remove that video. I had my third strike. So this is why it's okay for me to talk about it. I haven't gotten strikes on my lives yet, nothing. So I can talk about it. I just can't post about it. Yeah, you saved the video. Good, I did too. It's on my phone. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about frequency. Okay, now that we've explored a little bit about what energy is and how it is important for us to understand. Wait, did I read this part? No. Okay, all matter is made of atoms, including your children, your car, and your table. There is a space between the atoms, and the space allows for movement and vibration. If you heat up a cup of water, it boils. The electrons in the atom produces a higher vibration and becomes excited in the response to the heat. When you freeze water, this cold energy slows down the vibrations of the atomic structure so that the water becomes solid. All things produce energy, as we discussed, and this energy has frequency that can be measured. Okay, this is the good part. This is where we're going to talk about what is low frequency, what is higher frequency. Okay, so processed canned foods have 0 megahertz frequency. Sugar, 0 frequency. Dry herbs have a 15 to 22 megahertz. Fresh herbs, fresh food, living food, 20 to 27 megahertz. There are some foods that are higher, and I'll go into that later. Okay, essential oils. So right here, I've got my essential oils going. 52 megahertz, you guys. 52. So I have not been running my essential oils very much lately, and as soon as I read this, on it went. Because I enjoy a cup of coffee once a day, and that's a big strike. Megahertz, I'm gonna get there. Okay, organic, having organic foods have higher frequency than non-organic. So help yourself out and buy organic, right? Let's see. Hold on. I just sent you a text. Okay. So next, drinking coffee lowers a person's frequency by approximately 14 megahertz. So just knowing that just makes me, I know my frequency is high. You guys, here's a sign that you know your frequency is high, besides that you don't get sick. Okay, that's one. But if you ever feel like you're vibrating, that means you have high frequency. That's what that is. And that's a really, really good sign. And you get like bursts of joy. I get bursts of joy. I got one this afternoon where I was dancing all through the house and raising my arms and moving, and that feeling of excitement, bursts that just overtake you, right? High frequency. I love it. I really love it. You have that. That is so good, Karma. Good. We need that. That means high frequency. Okay? Okay, here we go. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to share with you. Before I go into, you guys all need to grab a pen and paper. You know I give you a ton of information. And let's see, I didn't even call out my moderators. I need to do that. I need to just kind of start. Heidi, can you moderate for me tonight? She's such a blessing. And give us some hearts, because we really need to boost this. We need people on. I know a lot of people don't start getting on until 7, which is a blessing, because that's when Tara Coyote is going to be joining us with her testimony. It'll be so powerful, you guys. And it's so in line with what we're discussing right now, because this woman is so positive. She is a cancer thriver, not a survivor. She calls herself a cancer thriver. Words, right? The power of words. But bump this live so we get more people on, especially because now I'm going to go down the entire list of how we raise our frequency. And all these bottles behind me are all part of this. These are herbal extracts that are probably why I had my burst today. It never dawned on me. It's been about 24 hours now that I have been drinking these in my water, and I literally am getting these bursts, right, of joy, of high frequency. It's amazing. And then connection, right? This week, all week, I've been getting these messages of what to bring to you guys. And just today, I opened God's Word to study the scriptures, and He gave me something else for next time. So amazing how that happens, right? Okay, I think that's good for now, because now I'm going to get my notebook out for you guys and go over. This is the list. It's long, but it is a good one. It's a good one. So have your pen and paper. A lot of them you're going to know already, but some of them you're going to be surprised. How many of you guys know that the bee's wings have a frequency of 232 hertz? So that means honey is high in frequency. So if you are not battling candida or you're not currently cleansing, you want to have honey in your life, at least a little bit during the day in your tea. High frequency. So we love honey. Yep. Okay. Yeah, this is so good, huh, Heidi? Okay. All right. So how to raise your frequency? Prayer. Number one. Prayer and meditation. I once heard someone say that knowledge comes in silence, you guys. Spend quiet time every day in prayer and meditation. That's how we gain knowledge. Yeah, sour salt tea for sure. Oh, for sure. Herbal teas raise your frequency. Okay. Gratitude and forgiveness. Gratitude and forgiveness. Aw, you save at least 1 or 2 bumblebees a day by hand? Leona, you're like an angel to the bees. That is so precious. Okay, humming and singing. You know how people put down yoga and meditation. Do you guys know that when you go, it raises your frequency? That's humming. So sing your heart out, worship, and hum. I hum a lot. I'm from a humming family. We're always humming. I hum all the worship songs. Connect to earth. This is one we talk about all the time. Grounding, earthing. Go lay down on your lawn. Get an earthing, grounding mat if you are concerned about laying on the earth. I showed you my grounding shoes, my flip-flops. I wear those every day now. Grounding shoes. Exercise and movement. Moving. We gotta move. We gotta move. Yeah. Letting go of the past, especially past grudges. That could be a tough one sometimes. Yeah, sing your heart out. Yes. Oh, Brittany got grounding sheets. Amazing. I know the company that is on my link in my bio for my grounding flip-flops also has grounding sheets, and that's something I'm buying next time. Okay. Celtic salt and Celtic salt water bathing, swimming in the ocean. Okay? I don't want you to miss any of these, so I'm gonna make sure you have time to write it down. Spending time with like-minded people. I know it raises my frequency. Oh my goodness. I mean, I think that's what happens when we go live, right? You guys, we're all like-minded. And we're raising each other's frequencies. Sitting around a fire. I love this one. How many of you feel that? I can't wait to go camping every year just to sit around a fire. Ugh. Yeah, Heidi, get your flip-flops. We're getting them for everybody in the family. The link is in my bio. They're amazing. I'll bring them on. They're in my bedroom, but when I have Tara on, I'll go get them for you guys to show you. I wear them every day. Sun gazing. If you haven't tried sun gazing yet, you must do it, because when I had my awakening 16 years ago, that was one of the dreams I had. And so I started going out and I would try to look at the sun and it would blind me. I couldn't do it. So I started Googling to try to learn how to do it, and I found out you're supposed to do it during, specific times when the sun is rising, and then you don't look at it the whole time it's up, and then when it's setting. So I try to do that, at least one, hit one or the other. Oh, here they are, my grounding flip-flops. Carbon insert that runs all the way through and connects you to the earth. They're amazing. I wear them every day now. People ask about them when I'm out, and I'm able to let them know to help raise their frequency. And that link is in my bio. So sun gazing, yes, you can look at the sun. In fact, sunglasses along with shoes were like one of the worst creations because it disconnected us, right? We're getting more and more disconnected from the very thing that raises our frequency and keeps us protected. Okay? So the next one is positive affirming words. Your body listens to your words and my words, right? Tell your body that it's doing a good job. Tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell your body you love it. Oh my goodness. I need to stop there and read you something about that. I forgot there was one more thing. Oh my goodness, this is so powerful. Let me see if I can find it. It's a testimony of this. Okay, here it is. Let's see, 7. Okay. I'm gonna take a break and read this to you. So we gathered. Okay, so this was from Pastor John Elridge. He has a book. So we gathered a group of folks to lay hands on our friend and pray for physical healing. Only it wasn't working, and I could tell it wouldn't even if we kept it up. I paused. And quietly in my heart, I asked Jesus, what is going on here, Lord? What are we doing wrong? How do we change the way we are praying? Jesus replied, ask him how he feels about his body. So I interrupted the prayer, an awkward but necessary thing to do, and told our friend, I think Jesus is asking you a question. How do you feel about your body? His cynical reply was immediate. Easy. I hate my body. And there was our answer. There was the break in the wiring. You can't bring blessing into a body while the owner of the body is cursing it. Where have we heard this before, you guys? Remember when I read this, it about blew my mind. I always say we can't feed something and kill something at the same time, you guys. We can't feed something and destroy something at the same time. Holy cow. That was so powerful. Words. Yeah. Anyway, so that was brought to mind when I said positive, affirming words to tell not just others, but ourselves, right? Don't look in the mirror and look at your wrinkles and put yourself down. Look in the mirror and say, you know what? This little jewel I have going here, these wrinkles that are forming on my face, that is a sign of life. That is that I have lived 54 years. I have some stretch marks from giving birth to my babies and being pregnant for growing them in my body for 9 months, and I love every one of them because that was the precious, wonderful years of my babies being in my body. That's what that is. And so love it all, every bit of it. And it's so important. We must, you guys, we must. And we must look at others the same way, or it's keeping us low frequency. So we must love it all. Okay, and if you need help with that, we're all here to help each other, to all raise each other up, because I told you God had a lot of work to do in me before I came to you guys. I was so insecure, and we might as well talk about that, since I always say that we're going to talk about it. I was insecure because I didn't have the straightest teeth. I was insecure. I can list them all. I had insecurities about the way I speak. I had a sister that was an English major, and she just speaks so eloquently. And I was insecure because I didn't speak like her. And we compare ourselves, right, to others. And then I had to learn who I was in Christ, who I was, and how He made me. And I went through that, which was through a lot of struggles, right? We talked about when we go through tests, we have a testimony. I had to go through some testing to see who I was in Christ, to learn that. And it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me in my life. And now I can help others. I work with teenagers a lot. I was in high school ministry leading for years before we retired and moved up here. And I know that God just has me moving on now in ministry, but that's what I did for years, just so I can help those young girls and guys know who they are in Christ, how important that is. If I had known at that age, instead of waiting until I was in my early 40s, it would have changed my life dramatically. Okay, so we're still on positive affirming, but we're moving on now, so be ready. Yeah, embrace all of you, like Heidi said. She embraced all of her. Okay, breathing and breath work. Breathing, taking time to breathe. Have you guys ever heard of Wim Hof? Apparently, he's untouchable. Nobody's going to go after him. He's going to live his life out fully because his frequency is so high. He's untouchable. You can look him up. Wim Hof. Okay. Essential oils. Scents, like even sense of food, good sense, positive sense. Essential oils. Intermittent fasting. I love that was on there because that's what changed my life in the last few years, was when I learned how to intermittent fast and it balanced my hormones. So if anybody wants to learn how to do that, I've got it down. It's my lifestyle now, and I learned how to do it to balance my hormones. So I don't gain any weight anymore, and I love it. Okay, eat living foods. Living foods, including herbals. Yes, prayer and fasting, Mark 9:29. You got it, sister. Okay, stretching, very important. Stretching will allow you to move your body. If we don't stretch, we can't keep moving our body. Very important. Raises our frequency. Massage. I don't do that enough. I need to get a massage. I did one massage one time, and it was very expensive. And it actually hurt me very badly. I ended up in the hospital because it did something to my neck vertebrae, and I lost feeling on one side of my body. So I will never allow a massage therapist to go very deep because it really harmed me. So be careful if you go for your first massage. Sleep. We need to get good sleep. So whatever it takes, you need good sleep. I even am a napper. I take a 20-minute nap. That's usually spring, summer, winter. I could take an hour nap easily. I get up about 6 in the morning and I go to bed about 10, so I feel like I need a nap. Wanda, I need my harmonies balanced. Yeah, you're going to. That's the list of things to get balanced. And then we'll go into, of course, we have to take care of our candida, our parasites, because they're going to keep us low frequency. So we can do all this and still be low frequency because we haven't dealt with the beast inside that's eating us alive and eating our nutrients. We could be feeding it living nutrients, living herbals, and we're still not getting healthy because the parasites. So you need to candida cleanse, liver cleanse, and I'm going to show you the herbals that will help you with that. And they're also all in my link in my bio, but you must address the parasites. Okay, plants in our home. I have plants everywhere. So these are the wildflowers I pick every week when I'm hiking. And then I have plants. I have 2 plants to the right of me. I have in every room about 5 plants. Every room, even my bedroom. Okay, so plants. Oh, this is new. How many knew that it'll raise your frequency and it actually adds, I can't even imagine what our water looks like when we do this in a microscope, but expose your water to sunlight before you drink it. Maybe we can look that up and see if there's an image on, maybe Dr. Emoto did that. So today, the last 2 days I've done that. So I just fill up my water, I pray over it, I put it in the sunlight, and then I drink it. So expose your water to sunlight. Isn't that cool? Oh my gosh, this has been the most amazing study I've ever done. I love it. And I love that it led me to God's word because that's where I really want to be studying first. Okay, before drinking, of course, you pray over your water. I'm praying over everything I drink now. I always prayed over my food, but now I'm praying over everything I drink. I'm thanking the water. I'm asking it to bring healing to my body. I'm giving it gratitude. Okay, 528 hertz pure tone frequency. 528. Some of you have asked me what frequency to listen to. 528 hertz pure tone frequency. Okay, the next one is spending time near water. I know every time I go by water, instantaneously I can feel a difference, right? It's amazing, whether it's a creek, whether it's a lake, whether it's a waterfall. So if you have a water feature at home, we have one off of our swimming pool. Going out and listening, sit by it and listen to the water move. It's so healing. It's so high frequency. So good. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a list of low frequencies, things you need to remove from your life, because that's as important as knowing what's going to raise it, because you don't want to do all this work and then be multiplying all day long as you go, right? Or minusing all day long, right? You don't want to do that. And you don't want to have 5 cups of coffee, because you can add that up. 1 cup was your minus 15 megahertz, and maybe you got to 100 and then you're going and you're knocking yourself down. Alan's here. Good to see you. Before I go to what we want to remove, I'm going to tell you guys that Tuesday's live is up on YouTube. It took me 2 tries. I did it. I did all that work. It popped up, and then it showed a lock on it, and I clicked on the lock, and it said that I had a copyright strike because of the song I play at the end, Brandon Lake's song. So they wouldn't let it go live. They wouldn't let it be seen by anybody but me, but it downloaded. It took all day yesterday. So I had to take it off. I had to go and take off. I just basically, it's from the beginning to when Brittany and Ashton left, and I cut all the ending off, and I re-downloaded it, and it should be up. It finished right before I came on live, and that's Tuesday night for those of you who wanted to share it with family and friends, and for those of you that wanted to rewatch it. And I will download tonight's also. And now I know I just need to take off the music at the end. So just want to give you guys that update. All right, so let's go into, let's make a list of things that are going to, that are lowering our frequency and keeping us sick. That's going to be sugar, number 1. It's the lowest food frequency, the lowest one. And toxins, so whether it's in your cleaning supplies, whether it's in your food, it's the lowest frequency. The next lowest, Christine, I'm so glad you made it. Hopefully that means you got a new phone. We've missed you. You're going to love what we're talking about. Raising our frequencies so we can stay healthy. Okay, the next one is fear. I think you all could have guessed that one. Why do they have fear constantly pushed in our country and the world, right? Why are they constantly pushing fear? To keep us sick. And it's working. It's working really well. Because some of you didn't get this and you got COVID 1, 2, 3 times. One of my friends 3 times now. You're getting viruses 1, 2, 3 times a year. Strep throat, bronchitis. Something is working against your body. And I just gave you a whole list of things to change, right? To add, to up your frequency, because you're not going to get sick if you have high frequency. Okay, so here's the things you want to remove from your life. I already said sugar and toxins. Trying to change that overnight is not going to work, but just start removing them every month, right? Okay, clutter. If you're living in clutter, clean it up. Even if you need to call your friends in and have them help you. Clutter is low frequency. Strife. If you don't get along with people, find out why and fix that. Learn to communicate. Cooked food, canned food, processed food. You guys, our diet should be 95% living. And if we're doing it correctly, that means that we should be chewing. If we're eating raw diet, sprouts and vegetables and fruits, nuts. I'm going to go into the high frequency foods, the highest frequency foods later. But that means you need to be chewing. We're supposed to be chewing our food like 30 to 100 times. And we don't do that. We shove it in our mouth and we take a couple chews and then we swallow it. And then it's putting a lot of stress on our digestive system. So our digestion begins in our mouth. So we need to chew, and take time. Take time with every meal. Okay, stress, low frequency. Alcohol, drugs, and pharma use. Unforgiveness. Hatred, these are obvious ones. Jealousy and greed, very low frequency. Very low. Reactive. Heidi talks about this a lot. Are we reacting or are we responding? Low frequency. Guilt. Let it go, guys. Let it go. One of the best things I could have ever have done, I went through a divorce when I was raising my children. One of the best things I could have ever done, I forgave very early on. I had no problem doing that. That was easy for me because I was free of very painful years. So that easy to forget. I wished him best. I wanted the best. I still want the best, right? And yeah, that came easy. The guilt though, I lived with for a long time. And the guilt I had was how it affected my boys. Divorce is very, very hurtful to families and children, especially because they did nothing to deserve the pain that they endure, right? So I had guilt. So I went to my boys many times while they were growing up and I asked for their forgiveness. That is so important, you guys. It was so healing for me. And they're men, young men now. One of them is a daddy already. They're both married. They both tell me to this day, they thank me for humbling myself and going to them and saying, I'm sorry for any way I've caused you pain. And that helped them, you guys. I have a really strong bond with my boys and they still come to me to this day. And I highly recommend, if you have not sought that out with your children or whoever's closest to you in your life, please do that. Don't live with guilt. It's a terrible, terrible thing and a very low frequency. So take care of that. Okay. Complaining. Are you a complainer? If you're complaining all day long, your frequency's just gone from 100 to 0. You brought all the work you did, you brought it down because of your complaining. Skeptical. Are you questioning everything? Mistrust. Mistrust is another low frequency. Skeptical. Cynical. Mistrusting. Victim mindset. Do you have a victim mindset? Are you, always the victim and everybody else does everything to you? Turn it around. Do you watch a lot of television? Are you listening to the vision that they are trying to tell you? Because if you are, and I'm talking about all of it, even sports, you guys, it's low frequency. You need to research all about it. TV is low frequency. Horror movies, that's like, that's a no-brainer, right? Horror movies, stressful movies, just like what was it, heavy metal we saw in the video earlier, right? How it affected water, negative music, negative TV, all that. Yeah, remove all that from your life. I hope you guys caught all that. I am going to do a story where I try to put the most important ones on. And that way, in case you're just joining and catching them, and then tonight after Tara Coyote leaves us, I'll go over this one more time. Because we always end up with a lot more people on later. Okay, here's the highest frequency foods that you want to consume on a daily basis or as much as possible. I already told you about a bee. In fact, I guess if you raise bees, they say it raises your frequency so high that you are like in the healthiest people group. Beekeepers are the healthiest people, apparently. So that was really fascinating to learn. So you want to have honey. Honey is high frequency. Mushrooms, high frequency. Fermented foods. Of course, I already said fresh living food, especially sprouts. They are the highest. Nuts and seeds, garlic, dates, herbs and spices, and cinnamon is one of the highest. Olive oil, and that's organic, pure pressed olive oil. Not highly processed. Nothing highly processed that I'm listing off is going to be high frequency. It needs to be fresh, organic. Cacao, I don't know how to say it, cacao. Remember the dessert I showed you on Tuesday night? I try to have cacao every day. And that is on my dessert. And I will share that recipe very soon. Cayenne, like Jacob talks about. And Celtic salt, like Jacob talks about. And I've shown you guys the mix that I make. That's so amazing. I need to watch the time. Let's see. Okay. Tara will be coming on at 7, so I need to be watching for her. Where do you buy cacao? Renee, I get it at the local health food store, and when I don't get it there, I get it on Amazon, and I make chocolate out of it. So you just add monk fruit, pure monk fruit. In my link in my bio is 100% monk fruit, nothing added. So it does exist. I found it. And that's what I use. And then sometimes I use date sugar. Date sugar is wonderful, and that's at our Safeway. So it's very available. But when I don't want the glycemic index being raised, I'll go with the the other one. So anyway, the dates have natural sugar, but they still raise your glycemic index. Okay, beans and lentils are high frequency. I have beans every day, whether it's lentils or black beans or all the beans. I use beans every day. And then apple cider vinegar is high frequency. And if you know, months ago I shared my drink that I do with the cayenne and the apple cider vinegar and a little bit of honey and lemon, and I drink that too. And so now I'm adding some Celtic salt to that as well, just to up it. to up the frequency, to up the nutrients, to up the minerals that we get. Oh, Bezo, I wish I painted that angel. I don't have those skills. That is an amazing artist. Her name is Deanne, and the link is in my bio for her website. She's pretty famous. She started she was an artist painting when parents would lose their children, their babies, and the angel babies. She started painting angels for them. And she grew as an artist, and her work is absolutely stunning. So go treat yourself and go take a look if you like that, because this is nothing compared to what she paints. Yeah, lemon, cayenne, diatomaceous earth, and alkaline water. Yeah, or filtered water. Okay. So anyway, that is what I have on this, and I'm telling you what, it has been. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a few more things I missed. I forgot to turn the page on how to raise your frequency. These are good ones too. Laughing, playing, and having fun. Heidi showed us on Tuesday night how just even making yourself laugh, it raises your frequency. And hugs, high frequency hugs, raise your frequencies. And we know this one, complimenting others. Making our lives about others instead of ourselves. Just take your view off yourself and make your life about others. And then it comes very naturally to compliment others. I try to, every time I go out, compliment. If I'm going to the grocery store, I compliment the lady checking me out. I'll tell her, good job. I can see you're working hard, and I appreciate you, and you look beautiful today. You know, if I see a woman wearing, an outfit I love, I tell her. I love complimenting, and don't you love when somebody does that for you? So make that a habit, that anytime you're out, find one person that you compliment. It'll raise their frequency as it's raising your frequency. Yeah, oh, Beach Jillaby, thank you for that. Linen cotton raises frequency too. That's on I have a ton of stories about that. I just forgot to put it on this list that I have. Yes, what we wear matters. So what we sleep in matters. Our blankets, my bed is all 100% cotton. They're even making 100% linen sheets and bedding. I only sleep in cotton, and I wear a lot of cotton and linen. I go to TJ Maxx and I hunt out linen clothing, because when it's there, it's a good price. Linen is very expensive, but every year I find a few pieces in TJ Maxx, and I've had them for years. So you're right, high frequency fabrics. So thank you for that. That's a great reminder. And then cold showers raise our frequency. You know, the whole ice baths that are going viral. I tried to do it one day, and I did it in my hot tub because it was winter, and the hot tub it's in the ground, so we don't heat it unless we're going to use it. So it was ice cold. And I dipped in, and I couldn't breathe. And I guess that's a normal reaction. And then I slowly caught my breath, but it was so uncomfortable that I haven't done it since then. But I have been taking the cold showers. What I've been doing is what we learned when we had Jacob on, and it's that you step in the shower and you let the cold water hit your forehead first, and then you let it work down. And I try to do that the first 5 minutes. Sometimes I only last a couple minutes. That's okay. And then I resume my normal shower. Have some of you done the ice showers? Have you done it? You know what, it's 7, so I'm gonna start looking for Tara, and I'm going to send out a request for her, because she was going to be available at 7. So I don't want to miss her. Let's see. Tara, if you are here, say something, just type something that you're on, and that way. Dry brushing is very good. Dry brushing is a detox. And so, yes, detoxing will help raise our frequencies. So that is important. I have the brush and I did it years ago, but I need to get back into that practice. That's a great reminder. We literally need to have a notebook just to remember everything, right, you guys? Because there's so much involved. And I'll try things and then I'll go and try something else and I'll kind of forget something I learned a while ago. But it's good. Lymphatic drainage is part of our detox, and I just posted a video in my link tree that is a full routine to do on your mini trampoline to lymph drain. And I'm doing the routine now daily. I was doing my own. I was following all kinds of YouTubers, but I found a lady I love, and she's really easy to follow. And so it's a good one. So be sure and look that. Hello there.
Hello. Let's see. How do I turn my picture off?
Now we need to see you. Um,
Right.
yes.
Let's see. Okay. I'm turning my camera on.
Okay.
Here we go.
There you
Hi.
are. Hi, look
Aloha.
at you, gorgeous.
Aw, thank
Hello.
you.
Oh, I just couldn't hardly wait to see your face because I could tell from your videos. Now, this is a woman who has high frequency, you guys. Can you see it? We have spent the last hour talking about how to raise our frequency and how it helps us, it helps our health. And
Nice.
yep. And so, anyway, you can almost tell instantly from the way a person glows and that they are high frequency. And there is a perfect example. Tara, Tara Coyote, good to meet you.
Great to meet you too. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I just couldn't hardly wait after watching your stories. And if you followed me at all or looked at my stories, my message, especially during my lives, has been how important it is and that we stay positive and that we heal so that we can step into our purposes and help humanity heal. And so anyway, it was amazing when I found you and heard what you had to say. And yeah, love
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
life is about growth and expansion and facing challenges and going through it and transforming. So it's a
Yes.
philosophy I love to embody. So it's great to meet you
Yes.
and hear all about you as well.
And is this the first time you've gone live on TikTok?
It is the first time. Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
you guys. And I did see that you and three other cancer thrivers like did a conference or something like that. And maybe you can explain what you guys did because that was amazing.
Yes, yes. There was four of us total. Three of us were stage four cancer thrivers who are doing really well. Another
Okay.
one is an ovarian cancer thriver, 25 years out. We did a cancer thriver conference back in, I think it was September. It's online on my website, cancerwarriors.com. You can pay for it. It's 3 hours of just
Nice.
packed full of information of things we've done. It talks about diet, lifestyle, frame of mind, just so all the things that are so important when it comes to healing, basically.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. And one of those ladies, let's see, she's pretty well known on TikTok. I ran across her, I think, right before I found you. Tell me some of the names of the women.
It's probably Willow Star.
Willow Star, yes.
Yeah.
In fact, when I watched her stories, I sent her name on to Alan, who's one of our cancer thrivers, who's winning stage four leukemia right now, and he's on live to hear you tonight.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
yeah, and I introduced him to Willow, and I think they're connected now.
Great. Great. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
one of my closest buddies. We're the
Oh,
same age and we've had a remarkably similar experience. So, yeah, I've met her in real life several times. So, she's a lovely lady. I encourage
oh,
people to follow her.
that's so great. And did you meet her on TikTok and then branched out from there?
No, we met in person because of our shared cancer journey. We've both been on a late stage cancer journey. She just hit 7 years. I'm at 6.5 years. So we met in person probably about 6 years ago when I lived in Nevada City in Northern California.
We were really
Yeah.
close. I am in California,
Oh,
and I am from Amador County,
ah,
right down the hill on 88
oh,
from where you were at.
right.
My sister
Wow.
lives up there where you were at, and now I'm over by Yosemite.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, yeah. So
Now I'm
how
in
long?
Kauai. So we were in,
You're in Kauai. What
yeah,
a wonderful place to be.
it really is. It really is. Yep.
And you live in a yurt.
I do. I live in an off-the-grid yurt. You can see some of my ceiling there. It's a round structure. My horses are outside. I live in a very good, down-to-earth life. I feel very blessed to be here.
This is like one of my life dreams to live in a yurt and be off grid. So it's so amazing to meet somebody who's actually doing this. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a great lifestyle. I wake up to lots of roosters every morning. If
I've
anyone
heard in your videos. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, they're interspersed throughout all my videos. It's just you can't deny it. They're just there. They're
Yeah.
always making noise. So
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Okay. Well, they are all here to hear your story and to hear from beginning to where you're at now.
great. Yeah, I will share in a nutshell. So
Okay.
I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer in September 2016. My best friend had just died from acute myeloid leukemia a year before I was diagnosed. And it
Okay.
was a very traumatic experience. She died young, and I was one of her main caregivers. And I was so traumatized by being with her for months and months and months in the hospital that I was already a natural girl. I said, I'm going to do all natural treatment, which I did very successfully for about 2.5 years. I tried almost everything you could think of. I had tons of fundraisers. And then a very stressful event occurred. I ran a horse retreat in California, Nevada City, and I was forced to sell my ranch. And so I had to basically give up everything I worked so hard to accomplish, my business. I had to let go of 2 horses, and it was very stressful for about a year. And during that time, the cancer spread to be throughout my body, went from my breast to my lungs, my liver, my spine, my adrenal glands, my hip, like basically everywhere. And
Can you tell us
because
what you did naturally before that happened? Like what?
Sure.
Yeah.
There's so much I did, and I have so much information on my various websites and such. But I basically did everything.
Okay.
Well, probably almost everything. I did high dose vitamin C infusions, coffee enemas, juicing, like a version of Gerson technique. I went to Mexico and received treatment.
Okay.
Uh,
Did you parasite cleanse? Did you do the herbal parasite cleanse or anything like that?
I did not do that. No, no.
Okay. Because
That was,
now, so if you look on top of my page, it says the cancer parasite connection
I saw
because
that.
that was something. So I'm a dreamer. I've been having dreams for 16 years. That's what kind of woke me up, and I was shown a lot, and that is part of it. And so I began purging my body of parasites, probably because I probably had cancer. I just wasn't diagnosed yet, but I knew I had stage 5 candida by looking at the now I have the knowledge of looking at the symptoms and knowing where I was, and which is, they say, days away from having a cancer diagnosis. So I addressed parasites and my body began healing. And so since then, I've really spent just years studying this and finding there's a direct connection. It's unbelievable. And every parasite specialist will say that they have never seen a cancer that wasn't parasite involved. Every parasite specialist. And they can't get bold enough about it because they lose their funding.
Right.
It's unbelievable. Anyway, okay, so this is so good to know. Okay, so you did, and I'm familiar with Gerson, and some of our followers have gone down there to save their own lives, and they did.
Yes.
And so, okay,
Thank you for sharing
okay,
about that. I have heard
yeah,
about that, and I would love to hear more. So
yep,
yeah,
yes, yes,
thank you for
we
sharing.
will definitely talk more about that. Okay, so vitamin C, coffee enemas, which is still necessary when that's what I had to do to purge all the parasites. Was
Right.
I had to add that to once I started taking the herbals and I had to assist my body to get the toxins out. So that was good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good to hit at all angles.
Yeah.
I did Chinese herbs, I did acupuncture, it just so many different supplements. I've shared everything I've done on various pages and such. Mushrooms,
Oh,
I
good.
did
Okay.
plant medicine,
Okay.
I did ozone,
Wow.
on
Okay.
and on and on and
Okay.
on.
But it's interesting. So then you hit a really stressful time in your life. They say that stress has to be addressed or it can just light a fire under our disease.
Exactly, exactly. Yep, yep.
Wow. Okay.
Right. And so I moved back home to Kauai, Hawaii, which is where I am now. In the winter of 2019, I was referred to hospice. I had so much cancer in my body. There was cancer all in my lungs. I couldn't hold a conversation. I was coughing so much. I had to sit up to sleep for 2 months because I was gagging in my sleep. I was on oxygen. I was walking with a hip because I'm sorry, walking with a cane because my left hip was breaking. And they pretty much said, Tara, you might want to try to do chemotherapy. It might save your life. We know you don't want to do it. They were very gentle and loving
Good.
towards me, which
That's
was
good. That's
lovely.
surprising, but that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's here in Kauai. We definitely have the aloha spirit here, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I ended up doing 9 months of chemotherapy. I'm very grateful for it. During that time, I almost died a few times.
Yeah.
I did end up breaking my left hip, and I had to have double hip surgery and learn to walk again.
Wow.
So, it was a crazy journey. I wrote about it all in my book, Grace, Grit, and Gratitude here.
Yes. If anybody, hold that up one more time. If anybody wants to look into her book, is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon and it's on
Okay.
Barnes and Noble, and it just
Okay.
came out an audiobook actually. So it's
Wow.
Grace, Grit, and Gratitude, a cancer thriver's journey from hospice to full recovery with the healing power of horses.
Okay. And I will add that to my link tree as well for you guys.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I just want to add in during treatment and all that, I kept up with vitamin infusions on a weekly basis to keep my immune system strong. I kept up with as much as I could do. I kept up with coffee enemas.
Good.
And I did an immense amount of inner work of just clearing toxic relationships because I was at the edge. I was dying, and it was like, okay, I have a chance to save my life here. What do I need to do? So I pretty much did everything I could. And I finished treatment in March of 2020, and with amazing results. The cancer had shrunk throughout my body. I still had some cancer, but I was like, okay, I'm living, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
And then just recently, this fall, 2022, I was ED, no evidence of disease, which is huge and words I never thought I would hear because, I had cancer throughout my body. So I was just happy to be alive. So,
And from 2020, when you finished the chemo, and then that was 2 years to 2022, you continued to you because you still had cancer in your body, so you did the protocol, whatever protocol, which we'll go into that because that'll be something they'll be very interested in.
right.
Completely finished it
Yeah.
off. Wow.
Yeah. And I've had damage to my body. If you look at my spine, how it looked in 2019, it looked like a Pac-Man had eaten it, literally. And I had holes in my bones and my hips and my legs. My hip broke, and then my
Yeah.
bones have miraculously grown back. I do
Wow.
just to add in, I do monthly shots of Falsidex, which is a hormone blocker, and every 3 months I get shots of Exgeva for my bones. So I fully believe now an integrative path of natural and allopathic. If it works for you, that's what's worked for me. So
I have good friends that did both, and it worked for them as well. And so yeah, you just that's why it's so important to to go where you're called to go to not be influenced, but you can listen to the outer voices, but go where you're led because that's a very important part of it. Alan is listening tonight, and he was spirit led to every single one of the remedies that he's added to his protocol. And along the journey, he's added, a couple others. but it's all spirit led, and that's how he's done it, and that's an important part of this. Whichever way you go, whichever treatments you choose, yeah.
Very true.
And you
Absolutely.
probably know the book by Jane McAllen, which is How to Starve Cancer, because she talks about this. Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
she talks
a
about how important it is to block the hormones, especially if your cancer is being fed by your hormones. Some of them are. Yeah.
right, right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So Falza, Dex, and Xgeva. Okay.
Excusa, yep,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah,
Okay.
one thing I want to speak up to is the power of CBD and, medical marijuana. When I was not doing
Yeah.
well 4 years ago, I consulted somebody who gave me a protocol of CBD, CBG, CBDA that I've been on consistently for these last 4 years. And
Okay.
there's so much you can do, but I definitely believe that's a great medicine for people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We know why it was not, it was illegal for so many years. We know that. And I'm
Right.
glad that it's available now. Is there one that you feel is the best that you've found? We'd love to know.
Well, I live in Hawaii, so it's a little bit
Yeah.
tricky. I don't have
Okay.
access to medicines like you can just walk into any
Oh, I
place in
get
California.
you.
So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
on a mixture of CBG, CBDA, and CBD basically.
Okay. Okay.
One of them
Okay.
has like a little bit of cannabis, but I told my practitioner, I said, I don't want to be high from this. I need to take care of my horses. And I'm just incredibly sensitive. So I wanted to be able to function.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm so sensitive. Yes. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. This is good stuff, you guys.
Definitely. Good medicine.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else
Anything else that I do now?
that's in your protocol? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I still do the vitamin and mineral infusions, a general vitamin and mineral infusion once or twice a week just to keep
Okay.
my immune system strong because it's like I want to live and
Yeah.
doing great. I'm taking care of horses and all that. Let's see, I still do coffee enemas every single day. That's
You
something
do every single day. I know
every,
that that's what they say to do at Gerson. Wow.
yep.
Okay.
Yep, I've been doing it almost 7 years, except for when I broke my hip and I could not get down on the floor.
Because that's how important it is that we get our stools cleared. Jacob, I have him on live too, and he's the one that talks about the cayenne, the Celtic salt, and how healing that is for our body. But that we also our colon has to be cleansed every day before we go and put something else into it. And that's why where fasting fits in, that we, wait until that happens before we eat again to not have toxins building up in our body. So
Right.
that's good. Okay.
And I see some people asking what a coffee enema does. I'll
Good.
just answer
Yeah,
that in
talk about
brief.
that.
Yeah, so basically what it does, it flushes the liver. So toxins begin in the liver. So it's basically, if I do that every morning, I'm keeping my liver clean. I did have cancer in my liver, which it's a miracle I'm alive because that can be potentially very dangerous. But yeah, it's just flushing out any toxins. I eat very cleanly, but still, even if you live a very healthy life, you're still absorbing toxins from the environment. So
Yeah.
that's a very important time to me. It's actually a very meditative time for me. It's where I do a lot of writing, to be honest.
Yes. And about how long does the process take for you, would you
I
say?
usually spend about an hour and a half every morning. It's a
Wow.
very sacred ritual where, I get
Okay.
up, I boil the coffee, and then it's this whole process.
Yeah, yeah. But as far as like the enema time, how long do you normally do the enema? Because I try to aim for
Oh.
10 minutes and I have a really hard time.
It does, you might want to, you have to do less. I would recommend doing less.
Okay.
Like I
Okay.
do, yeah, different increments, like 15-minute increments, because they
Okay.
say to hold it maximum up to 15. And you do like golden coffee. If you go on Amazon, they have special enema coffee. So it's not like coffee you buy from Starbucks. Do not do that because there's toxins in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you go on Amazon, you look for enema coffee. It's golden coffee. There's different types. Um, but yeah, I would say use less of it
Okay.
And then, yeah, hold it for 10 or 15 minutes. And you get used to
Okay.
it as you do it.
Yeah, Jennifer, she used this specific brand. I've always used an organic brand, so I know it's really important that it's organic, as clean as you can get, best brands, and I let it cool down completely or almost, so it's comfortable temperature, and then I do it. And I've been thinking of doing a story all about it, so we'll do that, and I'll bring all my equipment and show you guys. So.
That's a great idea.
It's all on Amazon. It's all available. So, yeah,
And if,
yeah, it's
if you look online too, there's directions for how to do it. I've
yeah.
sent
That's
links
how
to
I
other
learned.
people over the years. So yeah, you can find lots of information online.
Yep, yep. And Michelle's doing it, so she knows. She's been battling. She had the mold in her house really bad, and so she has mold toxicity that she's dealing with now that she's moved out of the house. And so she's just commenting that she does the deep breathing. And that's exactly, I mean, I have to deep breathe and anything to keep my mind off of it. So, like you said, make it a really special time. And I'll do that. I have a lot of things I want to start writing, so that I'll try that.
Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I will. Jen uses life, Pure Life coffee. Okay, we'll look into that.
Yeah, that's a great brand. I've used that too.
Okay, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Do you do fresh herbals or take herbal tinctures or anything like that?
Well, I do. I take Chinese herbs that
Okay, good.
my acupuncturist recommended. That
Yep.
is great for cooling my body. It's good for cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, I've tried so many different herbs and such. Let's see what
To
else.
cool the body. Okay.
There's a lot of various vitamins I take that I know are excellent for keeping my immune system strong. If you go on my website, actually it's cancerwarriors.com. If you go to about Tara, there's Tara's healing protocol, and everything's listed there because I get so many people who ask me.
I'm going to put that on my link tree under my resources, you guys, so that you can find it if you don't catch it tonight. So that'll be
Great.
good. That'll be good to have.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's also things like vitamin D with cancer. High vitamin D levels are very
Very
important.
important. Yeah.
Obviously, vitamin C, vitamin B. Trying to think any other mysterious things that might come up. I also eat a ketogenic diet too. That's
So,
another part of it.
what
Uh,
Jacob talks about, you guys, yeah, very important. Okay.
yeah, that's a high fat, low carb, high
Yep.
protein. I try to stick to that, and I notice my body feels better, and that doesn't feed the sugar in the body. I know that's there's a lot of different theories and ideas, but this is what works for me, and I'm alive, so.
Exactly. And 6 years now, and from the degree that you were at is incredible. And yeah, it's just living proof of what I constantly talk about, that I know our bodies were created to heal given the right condition. And we have to find that condition. And you have found it. And it may not be the same for another person. And because what led us to get to that diagnosis may be different than Tara's. And so we have to find what is going to rebalance our bodies out. And she found that balance and now she's sticking with it. And that's wise. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works. So I'm going on with it, so it's a good thing.
Yes. Yes. And so when you're on keto, how many carbs do you allow? Like, do you do berries occasionally? Because I know they're supposed to be lower in sugar, or do you do nothing like that?
Yeah, blueberries are the lowest in sugar. I was using the app for a while, and I was also pricking my finger to test the
Wow.
ketones and all
Okay.
that. I don't do that now. I think I've got it at a level where I know what my body needs.
Okay.
Occasionally I'll have berries, blueberries, but not that often. I actually don't eat that much fruit, which is a little bit strange because I live in Hawaii and the fruit's so good, but I
Right.
just, it throws my body off. So, yeah, I
Wow.
actually do not have much fruit, but if I do, blueberries are good.
Okay.
Because like you said, it's antioxidant, low sugar, and such like that.
Yes, yes. And like coconut is on the list for anti-candida. So I use coconut during the purging of parasites and candida to get
Oh,
balanced. And that was one of the fruits I was able to have, as long as it didn't have any added sugar to it.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, coconut's
Uh,
great.
yeah. And blueberries. I would have a few, in my Greek yogurt. What about dairy? Do you use dairy?
I do drink goat milk. I'll have goat cheese. Occasionally I'll have regular cheese, but very, very minimal.
Okay.
Yep. I find my body really likes the goat milk. I know it's high in fat, so that feels good for me.
Yeah. And no, it's supposed to be the best we're supposed to have. So that's really good.
Yep, yep.
That's great. What about meat?
I do eat meat. Yeah, my body
Okay.
definitely craves it. I was vegetarian for 10 years and vegan for 3 years when I was in my 20s. And
Okay.
I realized that my body needs it. Everybody's a little bit different. I read
Yep.
Eat Right for Your Blood Type, like back in the
Me
day.
too. Me too. Yep.
Yeah, and I found out I was a meat eater, type O, and I'm like, I tried
Yeah.
that and I realized that my body needs it. So I will have,
There is something to that.
I think there is. Yep. It feels right for my body. So I'll have,
Yeah.
locally harvested beef, red meat from the island here once or twice a month, and I'll have some
Yeah.
fish, salmon,
Yeah.
some chicken. Not every night, but I definitely do like a few times a week, and my body
Yeah.
really likes that.
Yep. And that goes along really closely to the blue zone. If you've ever looked into that, that's where they studied the five healthiest people group in the whole world.
Oh, okay.
And Loma Linda, California is one of those. And then Sardinia, Italy is another one. And it's so fascinating because that's how they ate, was just a couple days a week would they have meat, and of course organic, grass fed. They chose wisely. And then they had just really well balanced diet. But that's I send a lot of people to that website because a lot of people are struggling with what to eat, how to get healthy, and that's how I eat. So I don't eat a lot of meat either. I rarely have meat, but I am a blood type AB positive,
Okay.
and we can't have a lot of meat.
Right, right.
And I had a lot of issues as a child. My family was really big meat eaters, and I had stomach issues. And right out of the gate, I had horrible stomach issues as a child. And it wasn't until I quit meat, that was one of the first things as a young adult. I said, I can't eat meat anymore. And then I started improving. And so I started taking notes and writing everything down. And it was fascinating when somebody taught me or showed me the how to eat for your blood type, because that was one of the first things I discovered is the two meats that I could eat that I digest better would be turkey and lamb.
Oh,
And turkey was one of the only meats I really ever liked. So I thought that was so interesting.
your body
Yeah.
knew. The body
Our
instinctually
body, our
knows
bodies are, and
something.
we have lost that sense. When we take our animals on a walk, they have not lost their sense. We watch them be led to all the greens, and they'll every walk we go out and hike all the time, and we watch them. They go to dandelions, they go to the grass that is edible for them, and they know what to eat. And we've lost that, and so we need to start paying attention because it's not something that's talked about and practiced
Right.
anymore. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's much to be said by tuning into the body and really listening to what it wants because, as you mentioned earlier, what works for me might not work for you. And so to really listen to your own intuitive sense of that because only you know what's right for you.
That's right. Yeah, that is so important. And people try to tell us what is good for us, but we really need to be our own advocates for our health and be okay with that. And we do discuss that a lot on here. Um, let's see if anybody has questions for you. So we'll address that now. Has anybody read Dirty Genes by Dr. Ben Lynch? Valid, I haven't, but I've been learning what's passed down, especially the parasites that they are passed down in utero. And so I know so much of what is they call genetic is actually, the parasites that were passed down and start eating away at our bodies from the time we're born until the time of our diagnosis. And we had that one doctor on in one of my stories that he had a child in his office that the spine was being eaten, falling apart, the child. And so they started examining, and it was a parasite that was eating away his spine. It was quite a story. And so anyway, we're learning more and more about that. Let's see. Try to answer some of your questions. Very good book to read. I'll look into that, Valid. Thank you. Where does exercise come into play for you?
That's a great question. I definitely am big on exercise. I have a dog. I walk her every day. I actually swim in Hawaii with a mermaid tail. So
I saw that. You guys need to follow her. She swims with a mermaid tail, and it's beautiful.
it's really
It'll
fun.
raise your frequency just watching.
There you go. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exercise is great. Dancing, whatever. I mean, because that's
Yeah.
part of the ketogenic diet too. It's like to burn those calories, get your body healthy. So yes, definitely exercise. Highly encourage that however you can. And if you can have fun with it, that's even better.
Yeah. Yeah, Renee, she's a really fun person. I want to go to Hawaii and hang out with her. Oh, I love
Have a
it.
mermaid with me. No.
I want a mermaid with her. Yes. Oh, it's so great. You've been giving it a mile walking. Good for you, Craig. Good for you. Yeah, we need to move our bodies, raising our oxygen levels. Okay, what led Tara to find out she had cancer? Good question, Paige.
That is a great question. So I was diagnosed, like I said, in September 2016. Like I mentioned, my best friend had died the year before, and I helped take care of her for about 22 months from diagnosis to death. And I was pretty consumed with caring for her and driving long distances and taking care of my horses and trying to work. So I wasn't really paying attention to myself. Everything was going to her. Which I do not regret at all because
Yeah.
it was important for me to show up for her. So I wasn't really paying attention to myself, and I was really stressed out, and it was totally heartbreaking because my best friend died.
Mm.
About 9 months after she died, I noticed that there was a lump in my breast that was not going away, and it was starting to get painful. I definitely have fibrocystic breasts where they tended to be lumpy, so I didn't really think much about it until it became more prominent. And I tried to go in and get, a mammogram and try to get checked out. And of course, it took forever because I didn't really have insurance then. And by the time I was diagnosed in September of 2016, it was a pretty big lump. It was stage 3, and yeah, it was pretty shocking to be diagnosed just a year after my dear bestie died.
I bet that was a shock. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm guessing it was cancer that she had as well.
She had acute myeloid leukemia. It was the most aggressive form of blood cancer. So it was a very severe circumstance where she was at the hospital for months and months and months. So
Okay.
I had a lot of
I'm sure you did. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Yeah. How did you take your diagnosis? Good
It
question,
was
Sally.
really shocking. I was 46 years old, and all my friends, everybody was shocked. Everyone said, "You are the healthiest person I know." Like, I ate organic my whole life. I was gluten free, all this. So it wasn't like one of those people that ate really badly and was diagnosed. It was like I took great care of myself. So it was really shocking, and I had so much experience with death before through my best friend's death. But then when you get your own cancer diagnosis, it's a whole new thing where you see your mortality, where it's like, oh, I may not live to a ripe old age. So it was pretty shocking, but then I kicked myself into gear and did tons of research and decided to do the natural route. I'd want to speak up for Dr. V. She wrote the book Heal Breast Cancer Naturally. She's amazing. I know her personally. She actually wrote the foreword to my book. And she's got a great book and great platform, lots of videos.
Good to know.
So,
Okay.
yeah, check
Yeah,
out
we need
Dr.
those
V.
resources. We have a lot of people who come on my page that are battling. Um, a lot of autoimmune disease, but a lot of cancer recently. And a lot of people who are leading their friends and family to the resources that we are putting together because we're all connecting now. We're putting a whole lot together of resources for other people. So,
That's
yeah,
great. People need it.
they
Thank you
need
for
it.
that.
Yes, yes. And then, of course, I bring on as many thrivers, and I love, and you got to share all that, thrivers as possible because people need the hope from others who are thriving after they've had their diagnosis. So, yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Have we heard frequency one? I've been seeing people using it. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. I've been seeing it. There's a couple people that use it on TikTok. And have you ever used one? A frequency
Not that. I've used energy frequency medicine, and I definitely believe in that, but I've never used a frequency wand. I'd
wand.
love to
Yeah.
hear more
I don't
about
know how
that.
long it's been around, but I haven't seen it. Kind of looks like a blow dryer. Is that the one
Oh
you're talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. Biodecoding. Haven't heard of that. How about you?
I have not, no.
No. No, you'll have to let us know, Shelley, what that is.
I also just want to speak to the power of self-love and
Yeah.
self-care here. And I talk about this in my book. Somebody asked my book's name. It's Grace, Grit, and Gratitude.
Yep.
But this concept here in Hawaii, a dear Hawaiian friend of mine who also was referred to hospice with stage 4 cancer. So I've learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
But I talk about this in my book, Aloha Ma. It's self-reflective love. And I just want to put that in because, we can focus on
Yes.
medicine, diet, and all that. But
Yes.
I think the most important thing is this is
It
what I
starts
came
here.
to, is doing that inner work and really come to a place of self-love for yourself and finding joy and being around the people that reflect you in a positive manner because we could take the best medicine and go to the best healers, but if we're still holding anger and not loving ourselves, that medicine's only going to go so far. So I wanted to say that because that's actually, I think, the key to healing.
I agree. And that's what we started our first hour discussing. So this
Oh,
is
great.
perfect.
Great.
Perfect. Yes, that you bring that up. And I know that's been about your healing because I've watched enough of your stories to know that. So, what helps mind? Some people have a really hard time getting to that place.
That's very true. I think I was pushed to the edge. I was so close to death that I really
Yeah.
saw that it was a choice. Like, was I going to stay in this relationship that was not conducive to my healing, that felt toxic? And it was this choice of like, I really want to live. I want to do what I need to do to feed
Yeah.
my own light. And then I think it's also too tuning into your joy, which can be hard to find because we're not
Yes.
taught that in our culture.
Yes.
Um, so I think just really listening to what your heart needs and wants. A big part of my book is healing with horses. I think nature, being around animals, is incredibly healing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I
there's
mean,
so
that's
much to
why
say about that.
I did a major move and moved out of the city into the mountains for the very same reason. I couldn't keep going on down there. That didn't fit me. I had to come home. So I know that what that did just instantaneously making that change. So yeah, so you had to remove yourself from toxic relationships, which we talked about that earlier. Very
Right.
important.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
clear boundaries. That's been a
Yeah.
big part of my healing. Doing the things that nurture your body, even if you're very stressed, deep breathing can help. There's so many tools out there.
Yep. Yeah, Heidi says, Tara, you're inspiring me so much. This is your message, sweetheart. Definitely her message. And I'm so glad she's on live and she's written her book. So her information is out there and well, definitely needed. I mean, right now cancer is the second leading cause of death. One and two of us are supposed to get it, I guess, in our lifetime. And we have, cancer centers popping up for children now that are being built across the country. People really need help, and I've really seen how a lot of it begins here, and that's why I was so attracted to your message because of your state of mind. through this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
as a side note, I don't know how you feel about plant medicine, but I do feel like there's a lot of healing that can be accessed within yourself through doing various forms of plant medicine. I haven't done a lot of it, but I've definitely done some, and it's helped me release anger and trauma and just
So
really.
tell us about that. How does that work? So I'm open to everything. I mean, these are all herbal extracts that I take, and that I talk about. And the creators of it are online right now, and they were on Tuesday. So I'm all about plants. I have plants all over my house. So yes, let's talk about that.
Right. Well, it's more going into the psychedelic realm.
Okay.
They do, it's becoming part of mainstream healing, doing MDMA, mushrooms. It's
Okay.
now being, how would you say? It's becoming more accepted. So I've done
I agree.
Congo, which is frog medicine. This past fall, I did a combination of MDMA and mushrooms that was very healing to get out a lot of trauma. There's ketamine, these
Wow. Okay.
medicines done in a therapeutic way with support and a positive healing environment can be very powerful to work through those mind worms and stuck patterns and such.
I've often wondered if they were illegal, just like CBD, because we're learning how corrupt everything has been, right? And we've learned that over, especially the course of the last few years, and we know our sick care system is failing us, and yet they for a reason, and now I'm revisiting them, and I have heard of some of these, yeah, psychedelics that you're mentioning, and so it's good to talk about this.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
great.
it's
Okay,
becoming more mainstream and people are definitely talking about it. I mean, I can't say what each state is because in some
yeah,
places it's not legal, but it's becoming more and more accepted, which is
okay.
wonderful.
If someone wanted to research that, what would be a good resource?
That's a good question. I mean, you can look online. There's a lot of information online, or
Okay,
if they wanted to find somebody in their community. I mean, there's people who actually can lead you through journeys, a
okay.
supportive journey where you're being held in safe space. I've done some of that. Ayahuasca is another one too.
Jen is saying she knows people who have done all of these with great results, so that's good. And I know Jen has also, she lived in the Nevada area. She has a little bit in common with you there, and now lives up north. But yeah, no, that's good to know who and how to research
I think
those
there's even a Netflix
straps.
documentary about it too. I can't remember the name
Okay,
of it, and I haven't watched it, but it's quite good.
okay,
Maybe something to look at.
yes, yeah. No, I would love to find that and learn more about that. Just because I am more open minded than any time in my life. Because, well, number one, I was shown that this reality was not what I thought it was in my dreams. I was shown that everything on television was fake, everything,
Right.
and so I was shown in detail in my dreams, and then I was told about remedies that I needed to take, and so from that point on, I've really looked at things differently and questioned my reality, and so I have to do that now, and it do by doing that is going to lead us with a more authentic life and living.
Definitely. Yep.
Yes.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, lion's mane too. Yeah, they're talking about mushrooms, turkey tail. So I have a turkey tail and mushroom
That's great.
extract that I just started taking, and I'm
Wonderful.
loving it. In fact, a personal testimony was I woke up with my stomach hurting this morning, and I didn't know why, and so I that's what I reached for, and it actually because on Tuesday night we had the creators on live telling us about them, and so I thought, oh, this is an opportunity to put this to the test because it's supposed to be really good for your gut, for your stomach. And I took it and it helped, it worked. And so I'm just so thankful because, um, yeah, we get these issues and yeah, we're getting back to nature and the ways that I believe that we were created to heal. And we're out of balance, and the herbs have the nutrients and the minerals that our body needs that has been depleted by the American diet, of course. So anyway,
Definitely.
so I'm big on herbals and have been for a long time, but they took me to a different level, which was great. And now you're taking us to another level, which is even better. So someone
Wonderful.
says, does anyone use forsugmatic mushroom coffee? I've been meaning to try a mushroom coffee. Have you ever tried that?
Nope, I have
Okay.
not. No,
Do you drink coffee?
I don't know.
Okay.
I already told you what I do with coffee.
That's right. You don't need to drink it.
Exactly.
That's right.
It's
That's
going in
right.
the other end.
Yeah. What about herbal teas? Do you drink herbal teas?
Oh yeah, I've been studying herbs. I use herbs with my horses. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
great, all sorts of things. Raspberry leaf, and the list is endless. I have some on my refrigerator back there. I actually have to go soon to tend to my horses, but I also want to add
Yeah.
too, just to add another dimension to it. I also had bees, and I stung myself using bee venom therapy on
Wow.
my breast. I did
Wow.
that for quite a period of time when I was living in Nevada City in Northern California. So
Interesting. I have read a little bit about that. So you did it.
I
Oh
did
my
it. Yeah,
goodness.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've written articles about it. It's written about in my book. So yeah, bee venom therapy has been proven to shrink tumors from the.
Tumors.
I think it's the melittin. It's in the venom, and you can actually buy bee venom cream on Amazon. There's a certain brand that's really good, and then
I
you.
use it on my face. I have the
Oh,
lotion.
perfect.
Yeah, so I have, yeah, I should bring it to show you guys, but about 6 months ago, somebody mentioned this cream for your face. And so it's on I put it on my neck and my face, and that's my day cream. That's what I put on in the morning. And I love it before if I use makeup that day, that's what I put over it. So interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
somebody just said for Lyme, you can use it for so many different things, arthritis. And yeah, if you don't want to sting yourself with bees, you can get the cream.
Yeah. Yeah. And I use it to fight aging. It just happened. It made sense. I was like, wow, okay, this is
That's great. Yeah, I
interesting.
never tried it for that. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, yeah, I have enjoyed using it. Nevada City. I used to live in Grass Valley. Somebody else from the
Nice.
area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I lived there for 7 years. You might know each other.
I know. It's a small area,
It is. It
like
is.
like where I came from in Amador County. That was my hometown.
Okay.
I
Okay.
skied at Kirkwood, and I was always up, and then those hills.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Beautiful there.
yeah. Anyway, oh, we appreciate you so much. If anybody has further questions, follow her. This is her name, Tara Coyote. You can follow her on TikTok. You're going to want to anyway because her videos are so fun to watch. Like she said, she swims in the ocean. Is that a pool or an ocean that you do that with the mermaid?
There's some pool shots, but it's mainly in the ocean. Yeah, I swim with the turtles and the fish, and it's so beautiful and so magical.
Wearing a mermaid tail, and it's so beautiful to watch her. So besides that, her positive message is something that we started tonight with, but it's something we need to hear every day and remind ourselves, and she's doing that. So by putting it out there on TikTok for anybody to go to visit her page and hear her message. I'll share my cream with you, Valid and Christine, later. Maybe I'll go get it and I can show it to you. Anyway, so any questions for Tara before she leaves? What a blessing it was to have her.
Thank
I really
you.
want to go visit her. I don't know about you guys, but I'm due for a trip.
Come to Kauai.
Kauai. Yes, that's right. She's in Kauai. Um, my best friend has been trying to get me to go with her for a long time. So I think it is due soon. Heidi says, stay well, sweet lady.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. So nice to be
And
on with all of you. Aloha, and thank you so much for the lovely chat.
and your background's beautiful too. I've been meaning to tell you tonight. I just love it.
Thank you. Yeah, you can see my kitchen behind here. It's hidden.
That's your kitchen. Oh, that's so pretty though, the screen. I love it. Yeah. So I don't know if you can
Okay.
see the comments, but they're all saying thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All right, I'll just
Yeah.
sign off here. Well,
Yeah.
aloha.
Aloha. Thank
Mahalo
you.
for the opportunity. Bye.
Bye-bye. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful woman. Oh my goodness, you guys. Living a high frequency life. That's that there's an example right there.